I don't know as I stand here whether it can be done. I'd like it to be done, but I do know that there are time restrictions. There are fiscal restrictions in making late changes in the game. What we're asking is for the clerk to come back so that we can vet this in committee. I appreciate and respect your concern that it is unacceptable to go 2 years without an election. But if a neighborhood council is certified in December of this year, they will go nearly 2 years without an election. If it's certified in January of next year, they will go a significant amount of time without an election. At some point we have to decide this is the cutoff time when we can have elections or not without calling a special election. Maybe we'll decide that a special election is appropriate, but we can't do that on the fly. We have to do it with the benefit of the input in committee of the clerk, who's going to tell us about the cost of it, the process of it, and so forth. And then I may very well agree that we can go forward, but I don't think that that's something that we can just assume we can do, and without regard to the fiscal and timing concerns and how this actually will work.
Mr. Kretz.
Well, I think the difference is with my motion, instead of having them come to us on Tuesday and tell us why they can't do it, they'll come on Tuesday and tell us how they can do it.
But I also still think that if somebody gets certified in July of this year, we shouldn't make them wait 2 years to have an election. We should come up with a simple alternative. And frankly, they can just do a vote of raising their hands and have a city clerk stand there and count them. You know, frankly, I would not be opposed to that because I think it would be just about as effective as what we've got.
Mr. KREKORIAN.
Well, with respect, I'd like to thank Councilmember Alarcon and Councilmember Kretz for making the argument in support of the recommendation that is in fact in front of us. So allow me to read it. At the next meeting of the Education and Neighborhoods Committee, a report on the feasibility of including the newly certified Westwood Neighborhood Council in the City Clerk's upcoming 2010 neighborhood election cycle, and on a process by which new certified neighborhood councils will be included in the city clerk's neighborhood election process. That's exactly what we're asking the clerk to report on next Tuesday. We'll have an opportunity to vote on it then. That's what's on the agenda for Tuesday's meeting. So precisely, I think the situation that my colleagues are asking us to deal with is exactly what the Education and Neighborhoods Committee will deal with on Tuesday. It's my hope that we will find a way to make this feasible. I hope that we will, because I fully agree that we shouldn't have delays, even if they are late to the party, even if they are late to the wedding. They're clearly not having any cold feet. They want to go forward. They want to go ahead and tie the knot, and I say let's encourage that if we can. But I at least want to know where we're going to do that. I want to know how much it's going to cost us to do that. I want to know how that's going to work by the person that we're entrusting and empowering with the obligation to administer that election. So once we know that, by all means, let's move forward. But if we're going to ask the clerk to administer these elections, in my view, we need to hear from the clerk as to how that's going to happen. That's all we're asking in this recommendation.
Mr. Kretz's motion, is there any objection to it?
It's not.
No, there's no objection. Okay. So then it's accepted as friendly.
It's friendly.
So it's accepted as friendly. So as amended, we have.
It's not. No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. I'm sorry. Okay.
No,
I can't quite hear you guys. I'm sorry over there. So there's an objection to. So we'll take a vote on it.
I think he said he accepted the author as friendly, but the amendment
Gotcha,
no.
Mr. Kretz, if you'd like to clarify. Just how friendly are you, Mr. Kretz?
It's to delete the reference to studying the feasibility of conducting elections in Westwood, and instead to direct the city clerk's office to report back to the committee with its plan for conducting the neighborhood council
Name
elections.
all of council's options.
Okay, so you would look at that.
We would name all of council options. That it could conceivably, at the council's pleasure, be taken back from the clerk and back to the neighborhood councils or to Dunn, as well as any of a number of other kinds of suggestions. I mean, we'll lay them all out for you.
Right. I mean, I think that's something we just got to look at, and I think it's something. Again, it's kind of an emergency situation. It's it's a fast marriage, and I think that might be one of the things we want.
Delete a report on feasibility to a report on how an election would be conducted. Everybody ready? Open the roll. close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 1 no.
Okay.